It's not easy being able to every depends on to keep your operation running. That's why at Granger, we're here for you. Professional grade industrial supplies and fast delivery. Call Granger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Okay, here we go. New York City to LA.
Just got the fever, she's a believer.
Happy birthday. Can't play off. I gotta play online. Wow. Wow. Are you fucking kidding me? No, I'm. Oh my god. Oh, now you want to work. Fever. I'm no afraid of line of fever. Hey, what's up? Ooh, Louisiana. No, for the change. Fever. Every afraid line of fever. Looking for my Jimmy to agree on bus.
Not much move.
Oh, not much. I can't complain. Like how I just made all these colors and they don't even say, wow. That's nice. Fever. Fever. You're not afraid of line of fever. I'm gonna have to fucking redo that. That's nice.
So West Coast, turn around, it's called the fever. Fever. That old fever.
Oh.
This one, I see Carl's
Which way, Waylon Jennings? Oh, you guys really seem to like Snowrunner. Okay. We might tackle the great outdoors with the Kenworth. I haven't decided yet. Or we might just cruise out of the map, or we might just actually do some work. I haven't decided yet. I'm still working on the color here. You know, I gotta get that color just right, you know what I'm saying? Know what I mean?
Have you heard the military Candace? I left my home.
Yes. Actually, I can play it for you. Hey, Roddy, man, 104. Thank you for subscribing.
That's my favorite.
Happy Veterans Day, by the way. And they're gonna have ads.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely, you're welcome. We might actually do a dark olive green for one of my trucks, actually. Not much. Surely die, would surely die. My wife.
I see you got off GTA.
Yeah, the fucking game wouldn't. I couldn't invite you at all. That's about a military color.
Yay.
Heck yeah. I wish I could get. I'm looking for a game that I'm gonna get. Hopefully, I'm gonna find. And that's Sniper Elite 5. That's a war game. I think you'd like watching me play. It takes place in like the 40s. So you have like all like historical accuracy from the guns to the German soldiers, to the officers, and eventually it gets harder and harder and harder as you progress and stuff. Oh yeah, that's almost like a World War II Army color right there. Except it doesn't have the star on there.
Call of Duty WW2.
World War II. I have heard of Call of Duty World War II. I don't play those, unfortunately, but sometime I will find Sniper Elite 5 for the disc. Do I have PlayStation? Oh yeah, I gotta have a special PlayStation Plus to download it. The thing with the PlayStation version is that I have to have a special version of PlayStation Plus. That's $100 to get it to download.
I pre-ordered Call of Duty Black Ops 7.
I actually saw the new Call of Duty actually at Walmart. Actually, believe it or not. Should we get a truck all muddy? Should we take the old what should we take? Should we take the Kodiak out for a mud ride in Michigan? Let's see. Here we go.
Mudding is my favorite thing to do.
Actually, in one of the maps in Snowrunner, there's actually a Russian military base actually that has like a missile. I gotta find it. I think it's. I know it's a. Is it? Oh, here it is. It's in this map right here. I think I discovered it. Oh yeah, right here. There's a There's a. I think that's a ski lodge right there. But in one of the Russian maps, there's a like a Soviet like a missile that's like a bunker. Look for it here.
That's awesome.
It is. It's really fucking cool. When I find it, I'll show you. It's really cool. That's the rail station. Every map in this game has its perks, and every map in this game also has its cons.
I got 12 months premium PlayStation Plus.
Oh, look, you could play freaking oh, there's a truck right there. Huh. You could play Sniper Elite 5. If I ever get it, I'm gonna try to see if I can't find the disc version of it. I'm gonna see if I can't do that. I'm gonna try to find the disc version of Sniper Elite 5. Maybe I'll put that on my Christmas list. Because then maybe I can play it again and it would be really nice.
Digital is the way to go.
Yeah. The only bad thing for me, like I said, is that I can't really play it because because it has to require PlayStation Plus. Let me see. Sniper. I might have a Sniper Elite game. My controller's not charging.
Digital
No.
games are cheaper than discs.
Actually, I found
Xbox One.
oh, I found 3 games that I found at a used game store, and it was under like $100. It was actually I got pretty lucky with that actually. Tamar?
$100 yay they can kick rocks haha.
Oh, that's got to be it. Oh yeah, right there's the missile. See it? Or at least it's what's left of a missile. It's not a bunker, but I think it's a missile or like it's some kind of a rocket. Like a Soviet rocket or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the hell they would call it, but alright, enough messing around. We gotta fucking find a map to get mudding on. I might have a fun one I think we can do. And it involves this frozen land. I believe there should be a garage on this map that should lead it. Yep, right onto the. We got to get onto the lake. Coming through here, right onto the.
6 got delayed again.
Oh, I heard about that. I am not surprised. I literally I was talking to Cyber about it. I think an hour ago or whatever, and I said I knew that was going to happen. Like, no joke, in the party, I literally said, imagine GTA 6 gets delayed again. I fucking called it. It's like, I legitimately called it. And it turns out it got delayed again. Alright, let's get some sliding. Alright, let's go to the garage real quick. Yeah, Army Reserve, right on the base. Orla Peninsula. There is another really pretty fact about this game, or about this map. The northern light, at night, the northern lights will actually show in the game. That's something we can watch. We can sit on the ice, the frozen lake, and watch the fucking lights if you want. Get a powerful truck or whatever that's tough enough to get through the snow and everything. We could sit on the ice and drift it, pop some tires, and then recover, and then blow some more fucking tires and transmissions and all that stuff if you want. Truck is probably the best for the snow. Probably the newest one I got. No, we're taking the Kodiak. I got a feeling the Kodiak's powerful enough to get through that deep snow.
I'm okay with GTA 6 delayed cause Xbox games coming to PS5 means Xbox won't be special no more.
Yep, that's true. It means a lot of the good need.
Would be cool.
That means also a lot of the old Need for Speed games that are on Xbox, and Forza games that are on Xbox will be coming to 5. Come on, old girl. Come on. Slither through the freaking snow. Come on, old girl.
I'm buying Halo on PS5.
I heard that they were going to release that, or that they were going to bring that to PS5.
I didn't know that.
Yep, they're going to release Halo 5, or it's going to be like a remastered of the old Halo, but with more modern graphics and stuff. All right, here we go. Nothing runs like a Chevy. You can even see if we can blow some of our tires where we're running on a flat.
I've been with PlayStation my whole life. Team Blue all the way.
Hell yeah. Woo. I agree. My first ever console I ever played on was the very first PlayStation 1. That was the very first PlayStation I ever played on, was a PS1. I played everything from Crash Bandicoot, Tin Pin Alley, Cabela's Deer Hunt 2001. Mostly Crash Bandicoot. I tried to anyway. I wasn't very good at it.
Yup, PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5.
I never played on PlayStation 3, but I have played on PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Nintendo GameCube, Xbox 360, Nintendo DS, Nintendo DSi, Nintendo DS XL, PSP, Xbox 360, Xbox One. Oh, got some engine damage. That's okay. Trying to think what else. 5, PS5, PS4. Nintendo Switch is my newest one. Backbone, which I don't even use.
My silver PSP.
I still have I have a black PSP that I got used a while back. I still gotta find that. If I can get it fixed, I could sell that for a pretty good profit. Then I gotta send in my my GameCube to get that repaired too. Then I can make some content on the Nintendo GameCube and stuff.
And my PS Vita.
Woo! So this is what the ice looks like. Okay, we can just recover. I'm pretty sure I have mods on it. Pretty sure.
I own a DS and a 3DS.
That's cool. Hmm.
December I'm buying Nintendo Switch 2.
I might not buy the Switch 2. I'm gonna stick with my Nintendo Switch that I have. Because the Switch 2 is quite expensive for me.
Why is their army so much more massive than mine? We need to build more barracks before we get turned into XP for the enemy.
I have Switch 1, my sister uses it.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes, yeah, I gotcha. Irish volunteers and raise up the living boys the flag we are in. Fighting ball beneath this boats like Irish volunteers. And I was dreaming from my home land with precious land. My cousin sticks and reaches me boots and give over to this land. I found a home and many friends with some I find out dear.
My PS5 and PC.
Cool. Cheer the land of our adoption and the Irish volunteers. And bring your glasses up, my boys, and drink our tea cheer. The land of our adoption and the Irish volunteers. And when the traitors in the south commenced the war like a raid, I put my line down out to the devil with my spade. I coolly down the sun went there and built me. Oh yeah. And fill the ranks and march away the traitors whom we fear. Brave them all to blazes, says the Irish volunteer. And fill the ranks and march away no traitors whom we fear. All to blazes, says the Irish volunteer.
Someone else came over here and made a hubbub. Everybody turned up to the golden tinsel too. But then the good old 1600
That's my music.
But the devil takes no liberty, said the Irish volunteer. Well, no liberty, it's only a beer. The devil takes no liberty, said the Irish volunteers. Now if the traders in the south should have crossed our roads, we'll drive them to the dance and Patrick did the doors. And them all should loose the fat coat just below the ears. It's no good of Irish and Irish volunteers. The kids don't get out of this. They lead us on to victory, the Irish volunteers. The kids to bring my plane on the army now reveres. Victory, the Irish volunteers.
Actually, Ireland has one of the most famous ghosts of castle ghosts in Ireland. But Scotland is also another place.
I can't believe this game is free on the App Store. I'm having so much fun already. Oh, I'm stacking up coins. Okay. It looks like I got a lot of money to spend now. I'm gonna have to buy some serious upgrades for this ordinance. I'm getting overwhelmed. Get some cannons in there. Okay. Awesome. I got some more here.
One of the craziest things ever is there's two things: the castle ghosts of Scotland and the castle ghosts of Ireland. That each castle in this video has its own history, and some sad.
Sabrina Carpenter is in Toronto today. Joker, your girlfriend.
She's not my girlfriend, trust me. I'd never be rich enough to date. I'm not rich enough to date Sabrina Carpenter.
Where I live. But death, forever
Just messing
Scotland,
around with you.
relics of an ancient past confound
Real clever, Marvel Cuphead.
with death. And Scottish castles, where much of that they have witnessed. Castles were the sites of many bloody battles.
waving hand.
Out of violent feud between
Hey, what's up, Redneck Racing 678? How you doing? Do any of you guys believe in the paranormal?
A haunted fortress stands on the west coast of Scotland,
I'm doing
in the
good.
region of Argyll. This is Duntroon Castle. Dominates the city.
Sabrina Carpenter is in
Duntroon is the
Fortnite
oldest
Skin.
continuous
Sweet.
castle in Scotland. Now a peaceful home. It was deed of a landed on the wind, lost deed of a load of the sea. Duntroon is the oldest continuously inhabited castle in Scotland. Now a peaceful home. It was once the scene of bitter clan fighting. To this day, Duntroon is haunted by the heroic deed of a lone piper who paid for his clan loyalty with a gruesome death. Mysterious music is often heard. The piper's desperate tune carried across the misty waters. The sound of Scottish pipes has haunted the castle for many years, summoning memories of Duntroon's brutal past. Other paranormal events occur within the castle. Furniture moves of its own accord. Objects hurl themselves at walls. Knocks stopped. And a gruesome discovery was unearthed beneath the castle flagstones. Duntroon Castle has been in the Malcolm family since 1792. Tell about the country. Thank you.
I
400 gear.
believe in your good stream, Joker.
Oh yeah.
On certain night.
I wish I could see what it is.
The dog Duntroon, we must return to its blood-stained past. Duntroon was owned by the powerful Campbell clan. During the 1600s, Scottish clans were fiercely individual, ferociously holding sway over their regions. At that time, as a result of a civil war raging across Britain, the Scots were divided. The Campbells fought on the side of Parliament, while others, like their enemies, the MacDonalds, supported the king, Charles I. Hearing that most of the Campbells were away from their castle of Duntroon, Colquita, a MacDonald chief, took advantage of the situation and attacked the castle.
Sneak attack.
As soon as the MacDonalds had taken Duntroon, Colquita sailed away to continue his campaign. He left behind a small garrison and his loyal piper to guard the castle. Pipers held an important place within the Scottish clans. Well educated and traveled, they ranked highly in the chief's household. When going into battle, the piper stood forth alone, piping the men onward, their focus of loyalty. The Campbell clan were determined to regain their castle from the MacDonalds. In Colquita's absence, they mounted a counterattack.
It's really interesting about this. It's kind of brutal, but also kind of sad at the same time on what happened to this piper.
Eventually, the Campbell clan recaptured Duntroon. Every MacDonald was put to the sword, except one. The MacDonald piper. As privileged individuals, pipers were protected. Colquita's piper was spared. Imprisoned in the castle and surrounded by enemies, the piper knew that his master would return to Duntroon. Any time, Colquita's boat could appear across the waters, bringing him back and heralding the MacDonald clan's return to the castle and almost certain death. As day dawned, the piper scanned the horizon for a glimpse of his master's boat, desperate to find a way of warning him. At last the piper saw its shape on the horizon and made out the MacDonald again. He did the only thing he could to warn his master. He began to play his pipes.
What he's saying is that with the music that he's playing, it's a warning, saying there's enemies in the area, be aware.
Across the waters, Colquito heard the faint strains of the bagpipes. He thought he recognized a familiar tune and assumed it was a welcoming air from his pipe. But as he sailed nearer, the notes suddenly changed. And he realized that this was instead an urgent warning saying to him, beware, turn back. Colquito turned his boat about, and the MacDonald sailed away to safety. But for the piper, there was no escape.
He's not so lucky.
For the Campbells had realized the message in the tune. The punishment was found to fit the crime. They cut off his hands so he could play no more. The piper bled to death from his wounds. Those who dismissed the story as a romantic myth were suddenly confronted with gruesome evidence. In about 1880, a chilling discovery was made beneath these flagstones. Repairs were being carried out here, and the stones were being replaced. Suddenly, one of the workmen gasped in horror. Look at this! He called his workmate over. Staring up at them from its shallow grave was a human skull. When the surrounding slabs were lifted, a full skeleton was revealed. They saw quite clearly the skeleton had no hands. The workers and the castle lord stared in amazement. Surely the bones that lay before them were the mortal remains of the ghost that haunted the castle. The piper had done true. We commend into thy hands, most merciful Father, the soul of this our brother departed. The lord of the castle asked the bishop to give the skeleton a proper burial and to exorcise the spirit that roamed untrue. Bishop performed the rite of bell and candle. The Holy Ghost, be with us all. But despite the exorcism, the piper's spirit still seems to dwell within the castle. So, was the spirit of the piper not laid to rest? No, we think not. I put a letter upstairs from my father to a friend saying that things happened that couldn't be explained in the normal way. In spite of the disturbing events, objects being moved and broken, the Malcolm family learned to accept the ghostly presence. But why is the piper still haunting their trouble? The reason is thought to do with the circumstances of his burial. As a MacDonald, the piper was more likely a Catholic, but the burial service was Episcopalian. The Malcolm family believes that the piper's spirit was never truly laid to rest. single standing stone marks the spot where the skeleton is said to have been buried. It is known as the Piper's Grave. But though he is nameless, his courageous act has immortalized him, the Piper of Duntrue. It is thought that some supernatural phenomena create changes in atmospheric pressure, alterations in the Earth's magnetic field, so that animals with their acute senses may more readily detect and react to a spirit force than man, who often experiences no more than a sense of unease. The lost soul the dogs seem to notice. The haunting pipe music. Opposite is the piper, returning to his post. Pipe his lonely tune. Another Scottish castle has 3 fearsome dungeons. On the east side of Scotland, in the Grampian region north of Aberdeen, Scotland's England Castle. The great facade has been likened to a French chateau, with its 5 impressive towers, each one a monument to the successive families who have owned the castle. Long before Five's oldest surviving, immersed in Ireland's timeless beauty is a dark history of magic, ritual, and primeval worship. Elemental forces from this ancient past come back as apparitions to wander amongst the living. And many of these restless souls are trapped in Ireland's castles. The spirits reach out from the beyond, lost phantoms that have become the castle ghosts of Ireland. If you don't believe in ghosts, a visit to Ireland might change your mind. The Emerald Isle is filled with eerie occurrences and unexplained phenomena, which might make even the most skeptical among you pause for thought. But a word of warning. What you will see could disturb you. Ireland is a land so rich in history and mythology. It is difficult to know where one begins and the other ends. Among the sacred spots, burial mounds, and bewitched trees of Ireland, the spirit otherworld of the dead is as real as that of the living. Ireland is crowded with supernatural inhabitants. But here, fairies are not cartoon-like creatures with wings and magic wands.
Oh, no, they're not.
According to folklore, they can assume human characteristics and live side by side with mortals. If disturbed, fairies can be sinister and dangerous, exacting vicious revenge on humans. It is very bad luck to build on ground belonging to the fairies. Across Ireland, places known as fairy forts are left untouched by humans. These fairy dwellings often take the form of a ring of trees and result in misfortune and even death. Myth has it they can transport men and women away from their loved ones into a dark fairyland. And most disturbing of all, they carry off human children, substituting changelings in their place. In Ireland, spirits and ghosts slip in and out of the living world, some to do good, others to do harm. And it is in Ireland's haunted castles that many of these ancient souls still dwell. In County Carlow on Ireland's east coast, in the village of Clonegall, stands Huntington Castle.
Huntington.
This historic castle is the home of disturbing apparitions from another world and another time.
So, what he's talking about is the Druids. They were around in Irish mythology of over 1,500 years ago. They're pretty much extinct now, but they were once. They were like pretty much like they could see into the future. They were pretty much people you would not want to fuck with because they were like Satan worshippers, basically.
The castle was originally built in the 14th century as the stronghold of the Cavaliers, an old Irish clan. Since that time, there have been many changes of ownership. The castle has been rebuilt and added to by each successive owner. At one time, an abbey stood here. Religion has always had a special place at Huntington. But something even older dwells at Huntington. A primeval psychic force from Ireland's past history. So powerful it radiates beyond the castle walls. In this field, a man who knows Huntington well has been a witness to unusual sightings. He says that he's repeatedly seen a group of men and women in the field, in long clothes, that they've been moving away across the field and that they suddenly vanished. And here in an area of wilderness called the Yew Walk, many people have seen unexplained figures moving among the trees. But it is this spot, deep inside Huntington, that may well be the center of the castle's hauntings. This ancient wellspring, 15 foot deep or so, is believed to be a sacred site and to possess magic power. It's never run dry, and it has provided the castle with a lifeline of water in times of siege. Huntington Castle has been owned by the Durden Robertson family since the 18th century. The current owner is David Durden Robertson. You live among the legends and the stories here, David. Have you experienced anything really strange yourself?
I have several, but most odd experience I had was when I was about 17. I'd gone to sleep on the couch in the library. When I woke up, the room was quite bright, and the whole couch was sort of spinning around. I became aware at that stage that there were two faces there.
His body was lifted up until it was actually floating above the couch.
Well, it was the most extraordinary experience. They hadn't touched me, but they just looked down at me as if I was in their power.
David felt that time had stopped. As in a waking dream, he was able to observe his own body, but not control it. He was having what is known as an out-of-body experience. These vivid encounters with the apparitions which he describes attest to their existence. But the question remains, who are they and what do they want? The answer may lie deep in the cruel past of Ireland's history. The native inhabitants of Ireland were the Celts. 1,500 years ago, a special priestly class of learned men lived among them. These people professed to have magic powers and the secret knowledge of the world. They were the Druids. As the keepers of religion, Druid leaders often rivaled Celtic kings and chiefs in prestige, even in power. The Druids have a special place in Irish mythology. But apart from their great learning, their extraordinary powers enabled them to act as intermediaries between gods and mortals. They were believed to be able, at a stroke, to create a mist.
Okay, that's okay.
Start fires at will. Or bring down showers of blood. The Druids were held in awe for their wisdom, but they were also feared. Animals were regularly used in sacrifices, but to commune with the gods, Druids needed the most valuable and potent blood offering of all. Human sacrifice. The Druids picked fine young men and women who were ritually sacrificed as mates for the gods. There were many methods of sacrifice. The chosen victims were burned in huge wicker structures, impaled on stakes, drowned, or buried alive. Because of their reverence for the natural world, a favorite form of sacrifice was to slit the victims' throats and let their blood flow into the earth. Is it possible the figures David saw looming over him were the ghosts of ancient Druids? That they returned in search of a victim? Huntington Castle is in some way connected with these spirits of an earlier, darker time. Indeed, this mysterious sacred well in the core of the castle is called the Druid. It remains the castle's spiritual center, and may be the source of Druid visits into our modern world. The bloody events of over 1,500 years ago are still imprinted here, centers of energy, held in the atmosphere of Huntington's ancient walls. And perhaps the Druids will return here again from beyond, hunting for victims to sacrifice to their pagan gods. Some ghosts are a mystery that can never be solved. Why do they appear in certain places and at certain times? But other ghosts have a special attachment to a particular place and return to it again and again. This is the case at our next castle, where the ghost came back from the world of the dead to help its living descendants.
Castle Leslie.
The ghost appeared quite recently at Castle Leslie, which lies in County Monaghan, near the border between Southern and Northern Ireland. The castle has been the home of the Leslie family for over 300 years. In January 1996, Castle Leslie was invaded by paranormal activity and a series of identical sightings of an unexpected guest. Perhaps the mistress of Castle Leslie can throw some light on the enigma. Samantha runs the castle and is a direct descendant of Bishop John Leslie, who bought the estate in 1664. Sammy, you've had direct experience of this particular Castle Leslie ghost?
Yes, on a number of occasions the bells and servants will start ringing, and I knew there was nobody else in the house. Another time I was in the hall behind the kitchen, and I was looking for something in the deep freeze, and I saw a grey figure walk past behind me.
Sammy assumed it was Alton, her partner, and called out to him. He didn't answer. She then realized that it couldn't be. He was out of the castle at the time. And then, over the next few months, supernatural activity fairly erupted at Leslie. Sammy was alone, cooking in the castle kitchen, when from behind her she heard a strange noise. A shower of orange juice hit the wall beside her, and there was no one else in the room. That was frightening enough, but then another thing happened. Again, Sammy was working in the kitchen when quite suddenly the electric food mixer burst into life. And it wasn't even plugged in. What Sammy experienced was poltergeist activity, and its strange energy seemed to fill the house. But unlike most poltergeists, this spirit soon made its identity known. Three separate sets of guests at the castle described a ghostly ordeal in the bedroom known as the Red Room. None of the guests had stayed at Leslie before and had no knowledge of the castle's history, but they all recounted almost identical experiences. The first guest couple reported being woken in the middle of the night by a light in the room. They described as soft daylight. Then through the light they saw a man standing over the chest of drawers. It appeared he was looking for something. Then the image and the light faded away. A few weeks later, another couple stayed at the castle. They slept here in the Red Bedroom. Next morning they described exactly the same thing as the previous couple. A strange light and the man in that corner of the room. But this time the guests experienced something more frightening. The figure moved over to the end of their bed, facing the couple. He put his finger to his lips, softly whispered, then disappeared. Just a few weeks after the second sighting, the man in the pale light returned to Castle Leslie for the third time. Once again, two guests staying in the Red Bedroom were woken by the strange noise. Terrified, I saw the figure in the corner of the room by the chest.
Here's where we're going to get to know his story.
But this time the man walked to the bed, held up a scroll of papers, and smiled. Transfixed by the apparition, the couple saw that across his forehead was a bloody wound. Who was this ghost, and why did he keep appearing at the castle? A reason may be found in Ireland's recent history. At the outbreak of World War I, in 1914, Ireland's soldiers and reservists were immediately mobilized. By the end of the war, more than 200,000 Irishmen had served not only Ireland, but Great Britain, and many had given their lives. In 1914, Sammy's great-uncle, Norman Leslie, was in his mid-20s. Like so many men at the time, he volunteered to fight in the Great War. Norman was the son of Lady Leonie Leslie. Leonie and Norman were devoted to each other, so it was with great reluctance but a sense of duty that she saw her son leave the castle to fight with the Rifle Brigade in France. Weeks passed. The exact whereabouts of his regiment were secret, but Leonie wrote her son many letters, sending him news of home and looking forward to his safe return. Then on the morning of October the 18th, 1914, word came up to the castle. Young Master Norman had been seen standing on the far side of the lake. The gamekeeper who saw him ran to the castle to bring Lady Leonie the good news. Another estate worker sent word that he too had spotted Norman in the grounds. Overjoyed, Leonie flew into action. Norman's room was hurriedly prepared, and the servants made the castle ready to welcome the soldier home. But an hour passed, and then another, and still Norman did not come. He never came. A week later, a telegram arrived. Norman had been killed in action at Armentières, France. The date of his death was the 18th of October, 1914, the very day he'd been seen standing by the castle lake. The exact whereabouts of Norman's body was unknown, but his family was determined to find it and give him a proper burial. 2 months later, Norman's brother Shane traveled to the French battlefield where Norman had been killed. Shane was guided to the spot near a railway embankment where a fellow soldier had written that Norman's body had been left, buried in a shallow grave, wrapped in sacking. Shane looked down on the body of what he thought was his brother. To make sure that it was Norman, he put his hand inside the gaping jaw and felt for the broken tooth that would identify the young soldier. The remains were indeed Norman's. The painful task was completed when Norman's body was buried at a church nearby. The appearance of Norman by the lake is a form of apparition seen at times of crisis such as war, when thousands can die in a single day. It is one of the most widely reported types of ghost. It is as if at the very moment of crisis or death, while the spirit is not yet released from earthly bonds, a telepathic connection creates a spontaneous image of the individual. This ghostly image can appear before a loved one, or in a place to which in life they were especially attached.
I think Norman's spirit feels very strong bond with his home, a very deep love for his family. And I think it was very important when he died that he came back to say his goodbyes.
That isn't quite the end of the story, is it? Norman's been back again.
Yes.
Sammy believed it was Norman, therefore trying to attract her attention. And in the kitchen, throwing the orange pits and starting the operation. Of course, the red room was Norman's bedroom. Who else could the ghost have been? In the papers Norman's ghost held up, Sammy felt that the apparitions of poltergeist occurrences were Norman's way of trying to get a message to her. The papers were the clue. For many years, the Leslie family had been in conflict over the inheritance of the estate. Sammy had searched for an important document which she hoped would solve their problem. But her efforts to find it had proved fruitless, and eventually she gave up. After Norman's ghost was sighted holding the scroll of papers, Sammy was prompted to search for the documents again in the castle vaults. When she touched a certain file, a shudder went up her spine. It contained the very papers the family needed. If Norman's ghost had not appeared, the file would have remained undiscovered. Sammy's claim to Castle Leslie would have been in jeopardy. The future of the castle is now secure because of Norman's appearance. Sammy, do you expect or look for any more from Norman?
I very much hope he comes back to visit. His room will always be ready. So it's very well.
Ghosts manifest themselves in many different ways. Some are figures as solid as a living person. Others bear little resemblance to the human form. Poltergeist hauntings, such as those at Castle Leslie, can be the most disturbing ghost experience. Inanimate objects suddenly erupt in violent motion to disrupt the peaceful routine of the living. Just such a terrifying poltergeist appeared in County Limerick on Ireland's west coast and took hold of Glynn Castle. Situated on the banks of the River Shannon, Glynn Castle dates from the 14th century and is home to the Knight of Glynn. The present castle is a Georgian Gothic fantasy built by the 24th Knight in 1789. Today, the castle remains in the Fitzgerald family and is a delightful home. But it was here on a night in 1991 that two of the castle's loyal workers were subjected to a traumatic ordeal. Sisters Nancy and May had worked at the castle as cook and housekeeper respectively for over 40 years, leading calm and orderly lives. They had never had a paranormal experience. Until that night, things started off there. The night had had a guest for dinner, and May and Nancy cleared away as usual. It was close to midnight by the time they went up to bed. May went straight to sleep, and Nancy read for a while before turning off the light.
I was only just sitting down about 12 o'clock night. This lies on the stairs as if somebody was coming in. Really terrible trouble, like as if they were trying to do the stairs and not able.
Nancy called out to another employee of the castle, Una, who slept in the next bedroom. Una called back that she was in bed and had also heard the
Everything. All at the same time.
Nancy finally crossed the landing in the dark, put her hand to the lights. So she pressed it and went quiet. This is where the luggage was carried staircase raising. And the room, which I do, yeah, that's the room where he was sleeping. Yes, it is.
I would never again in my whole life want to say experience. It was terrible.
Well,
It was desperate.
you can figure out what the cause of
May
that
and
was.
Nancy had spent their working lives in the castle, but they had no idea who or what the poltergeist was. Perhaps another haunting of the castle holds the explanation. Sometime later, the Knight of Glyn himself discovered a clue. He learned that earlier on the day that the poltergeist struck, a group of visitors had been touring the castle. Amongst the visitors had been a psychic medium.
Oh no. That is not good.
Although the medium entered the castle purely as a visitor, could her presence have unwittingly unlocked the violent energy of this most unhappy ghost?
Yes.
The master of the castle is Desmond Fitzgerald, the Knight of Glyn. The Nancy and May story is quite extraordinary, I think. Now, this is an unfair question. Would you describe Nancy and May at all as suggestible ladies?
I can assure you that they did not make that up. It was plain in their faces. They were absolutely terrified.
She lay down on the bed.
The answer to Glyn Castle's poltergeist activity may lie in a ghostly experience the knight had as a child. A frayed rope hung in midair. The eerie sight filled the young boy with dread.
There's nothing there.
But when he returned to the hall to show the mysterious rope to his mother, it had disappeared. Perhaps the events of nearly 100 years before had some bearing on the strange rope apparition the young knight beheld. In 1867, the castle was undergoing decoration. A Dublin firm was employed to carry out the work, which included painting the ceiling under the hall staircase. The builders used planks of wood and heavy rope to form a scaffold. But tragedy struck. Without warning, one of the ropes supporting the planks of wood gave way. The builder painting the ceiling was unable to save himself. He died. It was the rope that the young knight saw all those years later, the one that had broken and caused the accident. Perhaps the trauma of that long ago event was still locked into the castle's atmosphere, and it took the sensitivity of a young boy momentarily to connect with the anguish of the long-forgotten tragedy.
It was a long time ago, but I can picture that brave hanging there. Really, it was, yes.
Could the haunting that May and Nancy experienced so recently also be connected with that tragic event? Ghosts of inanimate objects, like Glenn's rope, are not unique. The strength and intensity of the image may in part be due to the degree of psychic receptiveness of the person present, who seems momentarily to release the ghostly energy. For many Irish, the approach of death is thought to be foretold by the cry of an otherworld woman. The banshee's wailing has the tone of a real woman's voice. Her cry is heard near the home of those. If this cry is heard 3 nights in a row, that person will certainly die. The banshee is more often heard than seen, although some people claim to have glimpsed an old woman who combs her long white hair as she moves. In whatever form ghosts manifest themselves, none is more terrifying than what is called the elemental.
Oh dear, the element, otherwise known as it.
This type of spirit is said to exist near Bern, County Offaly, where it inhabits
That house, one of the most haunting castles in Ireland.
The elemental is a frightening phantasm from the beyond that envelops those who experience it in its malignant force. The ghost is so horrifying. Its hauntings bring an overwhelming sense of evil and deep-rooted fear. And in one remarkable recorded instance, a witness had an intimate experience with this horrifying apparition. She felt the touch of the appalling thing, known at length as it. Built in the 14th century, Lepp is said to be the most haunted castle in Ireland. As if the very stones were rejecting human habitation, the castle lay in ruins for years. Tall and lonely, the fortress had a ghostly reputation so strong that local people avoided it at night. Completely gutted by fire, Lepp was boarded up, its gates
What the
packed
fuck was
for over
that?
70 years. But from across the fields, late at night, locals would describe seeing the windows at the top of the castle light up for a few seconds, as if many candles had been brought into the room. When the elemental haunts the castle, the temperature suddenly falls. There is a suffocating, sickly sweet odor and an overwhelming sense of dread. The vile elemental, it, seems to have been born out of a long and turbulent history of Lap. And this room has been a witness to its ruthless past. It is known as the Bloody Chapel, after a shocking murder that was done on this very spot over 400 years ago. Lep was then a stronghold of the original owners, the powerful O'Carroll family. They were Irish princes, chieftains of the area. Lep was an impregnable fortress, impervious to ferocious attack. But within the O'Carroll family itself, murderous treachery arose. On the death of the chieftain Mulrooney O'Carroll in 1532, a fierce rivalry for the leadership erupted in the family. Brother opposed brother in a bitter contest for power. One brother was a priest, his opponent another brother named Ty. One night in the castle chapel, the O'Carroll priest was saying mass for a group of his family. As he was chanting the holy rites, the door of the chapel opened, and his rival brother Ty burst in. Ty lunged forward with his sword, fatally wounded. The butchered priest fell across the altar and died. The heinous act of brother killing brother and the blasphemy of a sacred mass cut short by evil sent an echo of misery ringing round the walls of that place. The sacrilegious murder of the O'Carroll priest may be one cause of the castle's haunting. But another source of evil was found here at Lep, an evil so foul that it may well have compounded and nurtured the curse of the elemental spirit, it. A ghastly secret was discovered here. It is called an oubliette, a name used to describe a hidden dungeon.
Hi there.
It means a little place of forgetting. And those who were forgotten within these walls suffered unimaginable misery. Lep's oubliette is a little room with a drop floor off the Bloody Chapel. Prisoners from
yes.
and family
It is.
enemies
Well,
would be pushed into the room to
I don't have any
floor.
on my friends playing right now, but yeah, it's a co-op game. Yeah, you can play and stuff. It's co-op.
Prisoners not lucky enough to die quickly on spike faced gradual starvation in a doorless room, while the sound of merriment and the aroma of food drifted up from the rooms below.
I don't see one on, and then
A narrow window let the prisoners watch those who came and went in freedom.
it's a static coming from that. That's going on.
At the turn of the last century, workers were given the task of clearing the oubliette. They made a hideous discovery. Human skeletons lay piled on top of each other. Three cartloads of bones were removed. Another chilling thought. Among the bones, the workmen found this pocket watch, manufactured in the 1840s.
Yeah, I
Was
don't
the
see why
dungeon
not.
still in use then? It was shortly after the gruesome discovery within Lep's oubliette that a psychic disturbance caused the elemental it to emerge. In 1659, the ownership of Lep Castle passed in marriage from the O'Carroll family to an English family, the Darbys.
What's the code?
In the possession of the Darbys,
Oh,
Lep
I'll have to
became
go out
a
and.
family home. It was improved.
There's really no
extended,
code.
the
I don't
garden
ever
was
have a code.
landscaped, and a full staff employed to maintain it. By the late 19th century, descendants Jonathan and Mildred Darby looked forward to bringing their family up at Lepp. As was the fashion of the day, Mildred Darby was interested in the occult. Little did she know that her innocent dabbling would bring her face to face with it. Because of its bloody associations, Lepp had always had a reputation for being haunted. Nevertheless, Mildred naively toyed with magic. As if sensing a call from the daylight world, the dormant elemental awakened with ferocity.
But there's a code for every co-op game.
I know I know, but I don't ever use codes for my for my co-op.
In 1908, Mildred wrote an article for the journal The Occult Review, describing her ordeal at the hands of the terrifying manifestation that infested them.
Here, let me go to the garage real quick, and then I'll go out and see if we can.
I was standing in the gallery, looking down to the main hall, when I felt somebody put a hand on my shoulder. The thing was about the size of a sheep.
Well, this is confusing.
Sin, gaunt, and
Yeah, I know.
Its face was huge.
It's Snowrunner. It's very confusing.
It's violence. Its lusterless eyes, which seemed half decomposed in black cavities, stared into me. The horrible smell, which had before offended my nostrils only 100 times more intensified, came up into my face, chilling me with a deadly nausea. It was the smell of a decomposing corpse.
The elemental it is thought to be a primitive ghost. It is a manifestation which is believed to occur mainly in country areas and to attach itself to a particular place.
Yeah, I can.
It is often.
Let me get to the garage. I'm almost there, and then I'll
terrifying.
Retrieve my trucks, and then I will go into the menu.
Why did this elemental inhabit Lepp? Could it
Truck
have been the
not
combined horrors of the bloody O'Carroll murder? All those lost, dead souls walled up in the evening, drifting in despair of the dead. Whatever it may have been, after Mrs. Darby's experiments with the black arts, the castle was never the same again. Hauntings plagued Lepp, leaving a sinister air throughout the castle. The Darbys stubbornly remained at Lepp, but in 1922 the castle suffered another misfortune when, as the home of an English family, it became the target of the Irish struggle for independence. The castle was destroyed by bombs and completely looted. Nothing but a burned-out shell remained. The Darbys were driven out.
Okay.
Eventually, in the 1970s, Lepp was bought by an Australian who had links with the area.
Damn, 83 missions completed. I didn't even do any missions.
At this time, a mystic, a white witch from Mexico, was brought in to exorcise the castle.
Let's see.
After spending many hours in the bloody chapel, the mystic explained that the spirits at Lepp were no longer malevolent, but they wished to remain there.
Good. You should be able to just join.
Brian and his wife Anne.
Because it's in public. So you should be able to join.
The family is making it habitable.
I can make it.
In the meantime, they live in the castle gatehouse with their young daughter. When Sean and Anne Ryan bought Lepp, they knew they were taking on a castle with a troubled history. You and Sean have been here for 5 years now?
5 years, yeah.
Turning a pretty grim ruin into a home. Tell me, have you had any supernatural experiences?
Well, shortly after we arrived here, Sean began working on the building. He had an unfortunate accident and he broke his kneecap.
Okay. Cross-play invite code is
about a year with the work.
2 lowercase c t s s.
K.
Okay, so you should be in. Where's my freaking heavy truck at? There it is. Ooh. Ugh. So, so do you want me to give you the tour of both maps? Let's do that.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. So over here, you'll have your repair station right over here. So like say if your truck gets damaged, you can come around here. And then if you drive around through here and then around the back, your truck it'll automatically repair itself. And then we'll go to Black River next. Oh, hold on. I missed my turn. Oh. Yep, that's the way. Now if we go this way,
I'm gonna stream Call of Duty Black Ops 7 on Friday.
okay. Now if we go this way, Over here on this map is where your gas station's going to be at. It's right in here. So, like, if you needed to repair or refuel your truck, you can just be here, or you can spam the button that allows you to refill your truck. And then you come around here.
One sec.
Okay.
In back.
Okay. Come through that tunnel, and then hopefully our trucks don't freak out. Usually that's a common thing that usually happens if we both go into the tunnel at the same time. Oh, they didn't. Okay, good deal. Oh. Coming up is a mud hole, so you'll want to use your all-wheel drive to get through it. Yep, there you go. Now you're getting the swing of it. Now, if you want to explore the town, you can. So if we want to go down to the sawmill, right here is your sawmill and stuff. Then we can come around here. Oops. I'm not worried about that. If I blow a tire, I got a spare on the roof. Bugs. Now, the first mission you'll probably end up doing is the mission up ahead here. It's pretty simple. There's a gas station right here. Jeez. Oh, jeez, I just... Oh, God, that put big amount of damage on my suspension. That's okay, though. I got repair points to fix that. Now, this bridge that you see up in front of you, this is your first mission in the game. When you discover your first vehicle, you'll start out with is a pickup truck, and you got to build this bridge to get across here to get to the garage. Discover the garage and stuff. Usually, the signs will also help you too, like certain areas like gas stations and the farm and stuff. Come on, come on. Yeah, that's what's up. You basically gonna want to go to Alaska next.
Sure, why not?
Okay. Okay, when we get into the garage, make sure you don't forget to retain your trucks. That's like the number one thing you always do. Always, always, always retain your vehicles and your trucks. Because then you can use them on each. Because then you can use them on the maps. Okay. Well, and let me know when you've retained your vehicles.
Okay, it's retained.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Get to Alaska. Let me get to the garage real quick. Scout it out. Oh yeah, Oh yeah, my Antarctic. I still gotta retain that. My Antarctic is still stuck in the. It's still stuck in the water, right where I dumped it because I was mad at it last time I played this. I dumped that hunk of junk in the water. I forgot all about that. I can't believe that. It's still just sitting in the water, rethinking its entire existence. That's funny. All right. But these roads are going to be slick. So these roads are going to be snowed and iced over. That was a fast. Let's see, what do I want to bring out for my truck? Preferably a truck that's got good fuel.
I gotta go soon.
Okay. You want to wait on exploring Alaska with me? I'm going to get some chains on my tires because I'm going to need those. On there. Nope. Engageable. Yep, there we go.
Well, let's explore. I got little time left.
Okay. All right, then explore we shall do. I gotta go over and get my. I gotta go down to the dock to get my freaking my one vehicle that I have down there, down at the port. I gotta figure out how to get that out. I think I've forgiven my Antarctic truck enough or whatever. Oop. Gosh darn it. Curse the rocks. Ah, take that, you stinking rocks. Didn't get me that time. I can get that Antarctic out of the water if it's the last thing I do, gosh darn it. I don't care if I gotta blow my Freightliner motor up. If I have to do that, I will blow the motor up. Alright. Now I'm gonna get the rescue mission down. I think I remember where I blew it off at. I blew it off in the... I think I can get it out. I'm gonna set it to daytime so I can see better. That's better. Now I can see better. Oh, there it is. Aha. I can get that. Come on. Come on, Freightliner. Come on. I'll blow the motor up in this Freightliner if I have to. I'm not stopping. Come on. Come on. Oh, I hit a freaking rock, I think.
Honestly forgot to put chain tires.
Yeah. Come on. Come on. Looks like it might be tipped. It tipped over? Look, I think it's tipped. I think it's tipped over. Yeah, it's tipped on its side, I think. I think it capsized. It's capsized. Oh, come on. I know I can always recover it, but what's the fun in that when I could just burn my tires on this dock here? Yeah, that's tight. That's locked up. Hold on, I'm gonna recover this. I'm gonna see if I can figure out where this. I can get it to come out. Come on, slowly but surely we're moving. Oh, it's gonna be a pain in the ass trying to get that on the dock. Okay, let's let it float down. We can get it then. Because if I'm not mistaken, it should come up onto the. If it should, it might come up onto the. Oh, I got an idea as well. The crane. I keep forgetting about that crane I have. A bigger crane. I can use that to. I should be able to use that big new truck I got. The new truck that just was released. I can use the big crane truck. And if this one comes with a big fucking crane, I can probably carry. I find a truck that's got a crane. Let's see. Let's get this truck here. We're going to need this as the wrecker to pull it out. I'm going to get the wrecker Western Star out to get that truck out. Okay. So now it's just a matter of trying to get it to float. Okay, so I got the Western Star 6900 XD. Now I got to get another truck that's able to a cargo lifting truck. Excuse me. One that's not going to flip. Does Thor have a freaking? Nope, does not. Damn it.
I got one.
Okay, you got one? Okay, we'll bring the wrecker add on the Western Star for safety and stuff in case one of us flips over on the ice. Because then with this, I can winch it onto the back, and then I can it's just a matter of getting it unstuck from the front here. Ooh, I'm going the completely opposite direction. What the hell? I hit a stupid stump. God, stumps are always kidding me. I swear to God. Stumps are evil. Alright, we're good. Even the hood's bouncing on the frickin'. Even the hood's bouncing on the truck. What the hell? On the frickin' Western Star. It's boinka, boinka, boink. Alright. What is causing that ticking sound? God, that is irritating as hell. Oh, that was a hard hit right into the 35 damage on the engine. Jesus. Dang, that was a hard hit. My God. Let's see if we can pinpoint where the truck is right now. That truck's still under the freaking. Oh, yeah, it's still under there. Yeah, I think the thing should still run, unless if it's got engine damage, I can just tow it back to the shop. Ooh, that's. That's a bad thing about the Azov Antarctic is that it's so heavy. That was kind of a crappy place to throw it away at. I should have dumped it on the side of the mountain or something up in the hills. Like, not instead of in the water. But of course, I wasn't thinking then, of course. I wasn't thinking at all. Just wasn't thinking then, of course.
It might be cooked.
That's okay. I can I can see if I can tow it in or whatever. It's on the side now. I should be able to pull it now with my truck if I stick to the side and stuff.
Yay, what I can do.
That's okay. There, I got something better we can do.
I gotta go.
Okay. I mean, thanks for playing with me. Oh yeah, the engine's fried. Yeah, there's. Ugh, I never thought I'd see this A's off again. But yet here I am.
Bye, will you be streaming Snowrunner tomorrow?
I might not. I might be streaming Phasma tomorrow. Phasmophobia tomorrow. Because the new update was released. I might check that out tonight actually.
Okay.
Why does that look so good?
Oh yay, I remember what I call the Antarctica.
Oh, yep. Yes, sirree. Yeah. Add me the truck.
The deformed caterpillar.
The deformed caterpillar? Nope, this is the one of the western. Hold on. Oh, what the fuck that was?
No, I was talking about the Antarctica. Two seconds of me driving the Antarctica and it will be in a ditch. Anyways, have a good night. Bye.